Hello everybody, so this is the behind the scenes of my 2024 light show. So we're starting back here in the back. I have lights on around this pond here and then on the bushes, some of the shrubs over there in this tree. And there are also lights strung on these arborvitae and on those bushes in the back, also along the fence line there, and then on the post and then alongside the house. These are all just static lights that stay on throughout the night. They're not part of the animated light show. And I have more lights back here and then on these bushes, and again those are all part of the static light show. Moving in the garage here, this is the brains of the whole operation inside this Milwaukee pack-out crate. So down here I have the show computer, which is on this mini PC. This guy will be getting upgraded next year. I do run all Light-O-Rama software and hardware. I know there's other programs out there, but I found in my experience Light-O-Rama is the easiest to use. Everything talks the best. So I have the computer here, and I have an input pup here. I have a couple different input triggers. So one of the unique things about this show is I have this applied wireless receiver up here. And I have this applied wireless transmitter here. This is a 2-button version. I also have a 1-button version that has like a push to start show song that sits out on the curb with a little sign with radio station, attune to, and stuff like that. That just keeps the show from running constantly and annoying the neighbors. But this reaches up to I think 500 feet, and it's designed for high electromagnetic interference environments, which, you know, when running this much power through all the extension cords and everything, most of us have. And this is just hooked up to a input pup, and this acts just as the trigger to start the input pup here. So I have a 4-channel AC Light-O-Rama controller in there, and that allows me to plug a couple of the wreaths and stuff that are in the windows up here or run inside the garage through the back in here. And I have another one of those inline GFCI protection. Also over here I have a Pixie 4 controller. It has a LOR Showtime director in there that runs the landscape lights, but this time of year it's just plugged into a RS485 adapter that runs from the Light-O-Rama control computer, and then that just runs it typically just as another controller there. Yep. And then I have an IDMX 1000 controller here with one of these guys, which you can get from Wally's Lights. That is the RGB transmitter for like the RF bracelets and wands and stuff. That's been working out well this year. We've had that a couple years now. So then moving outside here, everything's run from that box. I have a Light-O-Rama 16-channel AC box here, and then an 8-channel Pixie controller there. I like to have more boxes, each running less things, let them be closer to what they're next to, just to limit voltage drop and stuff like that. I have these 3 Biscoyo Chroma Glow presents. They're pretty cool at night. And then I have across the front here 5 Light-O-Rama 10-watt floods. And then this half of the yard is run on one PixieLink, which I created this little box using parts from Wired Watts, just so that it could be outside in a weather-tight enclosure. And then I have these different cable glands that allow the Ethernet pass through. And so there's one on this side and one on the other side. I also have some of the strobes lined up across the front. Those have worked out well. And then I use these garden stakes just to run all the wires so everything stays clean and it's not so much of an eyesore during the day. So then backing up here, over here I have my FM transmitter in this case here, and so that's out in front of everything. That the reception's still pretty good on that. It's the whole house transmitter that Light-O-Rama sells. So then coming across the front here, we have P stakes, which I have lined across the front of the sidewalk, which is somewhat of a unique use for them. And then moving over here, I have each one of these lights, or each one of these bushes across the front are wrapped in white and color lights, which give me some unique options to play with in the software. And then as we come through here, I have, these are RGBW lights that are part of the landscaping lights. I use some of them during the song, but generally I put these out because these guys are brighter and illuminate the red brick easier. And then I have these warm white floodlights that allow me to illuminate the house a little bit differently than the cool white kind of offered by these guys. These are all 10-watt floods from Light-O-Rama. And then I use these garden stakes just to keep everything looking nice during the day. And then on each one of the windows here, I have these wreaths, and they are wrapped in color lights here. And then there are also bullet pixels in there, as you can see there. So moving along, new for this year, I got the Gilbert Engineering 450 Snowflake with the snow pattern on it. And that is probably my favorite prop now. There's definitely some really cool effects that you can do with that. Then going up, I have the C9 style strawberry pixels lined across the top with just plain white LED C9 lights above it. And that gives you a lot of flexibility for effects, because I like to match both the RGB and the white lights and the normal AC lights, and kind of intertwine them throughout the show. So that looks really cool and allows you to have a straight line and constant spacing. And those all have springs on the back of them so that they can clip to the soffit. I got another wreath there. And then moving along, I do have a Pixie 16 back there. There's another 16 channel AC light controller on the front. And then this is the CMB 24D dumb light controller from Light-O-Rama that runs all of the 10-watt floods. Moving around here, I have, these are from Wally Lights. They're the Permatrack, and I 3D printed some mounts here that I could bolt them to, and then I run zip ties around the gutter. And then I use them kind of as, whether people are calling them the pixel power poles. So that was kind of a unique use for them. And then I have a 10-watt flood. That's on another 3D printed bracket that I use as a blinder here on the top. And then I have a 50-watt flood here, also from Light-O-Rama. And this is because this is a two-story portion of the house here, so it can cast light up better, especially on the red brick. I've continued the pixel stakes through here. All of these bushes are done also in both color and white lights. I have another wreath in the window there, another 50-watt flood here, and then over here I got another 16 channel AC controller, and then on the back there's an 8-channel Pixie controller from Light-O-Rama. And then wrapped around these columns, I have garland that have white lights mixed in, and then I got these cool, I think they're like the Kraken Flex lights from Matos Designs, and I have those wrapped up. There's 125 of those in there, and that creates some really cool effects and is a lot smaller and easier to wrap like that. So I've really been liking those this year. Back here I have a lantern stuck in the flower pot there, and that is wrapped in fairy lights, which isn't great for the display, but when it's running a static show, it works out pretty well. And then on all of the outlets, I use these guys, which are inline GFCI fuses, which keep the house fuses or the house breakers from tripping with rain and everything. It's a lot easier just to come reset these than deal with the house tripping. And then I have all of these TP-Link smart switches, so they all turn on at the same time 5 minutes before the show starts. With the pixels, I don't like that all of those cords have power the entire time, so turning things on and off every day works out well for me, and I've had no issues doing that. Then inside this snowman there is some dumb pixels, which are the only dumb pixels I have in the show. I think those were from Holiday Coro. And then there's just plain white lights in here. I got my other PixieLink down here. And then the red for me, since I have all of the AC light controllers are run on a regular LOR network, I don't want to mix the Ethernet with the LOR network. So all my Ethernet cables are in red so they don't fry any boxes. Just a notation thing for me to make me less likely to plug the wrong networks in. Then under the tree there's a 16 channel AC LOR controller. Then back behind there's a 16 channel Pixie controller from Light-O-Rama. And then on the front there is another CMB24D that runs another set of the dumb floods, also from Light-O-Rama. And then I have the 50-watt flood back there, also from Light-O-Rama, that illuminates the two-story portion of that house there. The other columns wrap the same. Got some floods pointing at the door. And then I have up front here, I have these snowflake projectors that are cool for some of the songs. I have a couple out in the yard over there as well. I continued the P stakes across the front here. And then under this bush here, I have my Tune 2 sign, which is pretty cool. I just got a tinted piece, or like a translucent piece of plexiglass, and then had a local sign shop cut the vinyl for me. So that is RGB controlled. I have some RGB strip lights inside of there from Wired Watts. So that's pretty cool at night. And then these bushes are all wrapped, same with the white and color lights. Got my nativity scene here. The star is a LED rope light style star that lights up at night. Got the angel up in the tree too, which is nice. And then I have up front here, these two are warm white floodlights, and then obviously my two dumb RGB lights from Light-O-Rama. And then I have these ground lights that create a fan out into the yard. Those are from Wally's Lights. I've been really happy with those guys. And I have this set of ground lights, and then I also have along the sidewalk over here ground lights that run out into the yard, and they run out along that side and then out along this side. So moving over to these trees, I have white and color wrapped on all these trees as well. I got a 10-watt flood that illuminates the front of the tree. And then moving around back so it's easier to see, I got a 50-watt flood that lights up the canopy of the tree, which looks really nice. I got my mess of wires here in the back. And then in each of these trees, I have these meteor lights that were from Wally's Lights that run to a 4-channel Pixie controller up there. And then I have my 16-channel AC LOR controller that runs all of the trees. I have the trunk and the canopy are each a separate channel, one white, one color, for both. And then I also have these spheres that I got from Menards that are hanging up there, and those are also their own channel. And then this one also has the angel. And this tree over here is done the same way. I got my camera up there for security. And then these guys are also the Chroma Glow series from Bascoyo, and I have 3 of those guys. These are new this year, and I've really been liking those. The other thing that was new were these meteor lights from Wally's. And then moving around the back here, I have a 4-channel LOR controller with the Easy Light Leaker built in, and that runs the nativity scene. Back here I have another Pixie 8 controller from Light-O-Rama and the 16-channel AC light controller from Light-O-Rama. I got another one of these Pixie poles. I have 3 of them in total. The first one is on the right side, and I have one in the center, and then one on the left side of the house, and those are all set up the same. This AC light controller runs these 3 bushes back here, and then I have some greenery on this trellis, as well as some lights wrapped around that That looks really nice at night, and it runs that guy. Everything else back here was where we started, and that's all static. The other thing that I have back here that's static is I have lights that go up on the side of the roof on both sides, and then I have this cross up here that's built out of rope lights. The frame is PVC wrapped with just plain LED rope lights, and then I have a pipe clamp here. I have one on the bottom and then one on the top, and that's just used to attach the cross to the side of the chimney. That way there's no drilling or anything required. You simply clamp it, and then I use a pulley system to get it up there. And it's been pretty rock solid. This is like the 5th or 6th year now, and I haven't had it come down once. So I just zip tie the PVC frame to the pipe clamps, and everything's worked out great. So up top here we have this tree, which is visible out that big window. That's part of the show as well. It has a 4-channel AC LOR controller that runs the star on top of the tree itself, the presents, and then the garland that's on the banister rail there. Then I have 3 RGB floodlights that are also set up here that illuminate the walls. And then there is the pebble lights, RGB pebble lights that are wrapped on the tree. 200 wrapped one way and then 200 wrapped the other way, so we get good coverage at night. Underneath this present down here is a 4-channel LOR AC controller. And then over on this side, I have the Well Lights E131 4-channel controller. It's in this type of enclosure here, and you can see on the inside what that guy looks like. I run this Wild Lights controller over E131, and it's plugged into this TP-Link Wi-Fi extender here. And that gives you the ability to plug an Ethernet port in there, and then it's just run over house Wi-Fi. And since we're only using 3 channels on this controller, it's not enough that it's noticeable with the Wi-Fi. And then the last thing that's up here is I have a set of Easy Light linkers. This one links with one that's down there on the corner of that post, and that runs the AC lights up here, and that's run on an LOR AC network. Then in each one of the windows I have one of these LOR 4-channel light controllers with the Easy Light linkers built into them. Then they're plugged in another one of those smart switches, and they just run up here to the candy canes in each one of the windows. And the other window is set up the same way as this. So with that said, that'll pretty much wrap up my behind the scenes light show for 2024. Hope you all had a great year, and we'll see you again next year. Thanks.